Howdy-o, what do you know, it is Rabbit of ScrubLeet Academy, and we are back at Dito today, doing the rest of the monster manual. 4 entries left. This is going pretty well. So we're gonna go ahead and head into the Spinner's Prison, the Spinner of Shadows. And if you haven't figured out quite why we're here, well, I'll show you in a bit here, but generally speaking, we're not here just for the Rakshasas at the beginning, though they are very nice to get at the beginning. No, what we're actually doing here is we're going to go ahead and go through these phases because we need to get some some orthons. We need to get some orthons. That being said, if you generally peruse Amrath, you'll probably find a bundle of these guys. They're not all that difficult to actually farm out, but if you really want to get them really quickly, you go right ahead, you go in here, send me into the prison, and you just go through this first wave here, which I'll just skip by for your convenience. But you go by this first wave, and then I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. Alrighty, there we go. So we're not actually going to even bother going to get those spiders. We're just going to wait for her to come back and let her be weakened so that we can send her away. Send her away. And she'll get burned by the Flame Guardian when she stops jumping back and forth. And this is where you really want to be. Now, you can go around and get a couple of kills here and there, but we're actually just going to hang out right here. We're not really too concerned about completing this dungeon, not on this particular type of run. We just want to go ahead and kill off those Hezrous. And there we go. After a couple of kills, she actually decides to go ahead and bring in the red spiders, and that's the point that we're waiting for. This is the end of the first phase, and this is also where the Hezrous spawn up in great numbers. So we're going to go ahead and put on both of our auras and just kind of hang out here waiting for them to come into us. And I want to make sure that we're actually getting the kills, so I'll show you here. We're at 37, and now we're at 38, and now we're at 40. We are actually getting the kills, so that actually really matters, because these Hezrou will continue to spawn forever. At least until we get all those wards lit up, which we're not going to do. So, they will spawn forever. Now, one of the big things to watch out for is when she comes back, they will spawn indefinitely, but she will also be hitting you. Now, you can just stand on the flame here, put on a good aura, and actually heal yourself while dealing damage to her. That is an option, because even as she dies, they're not going to go away. They're going to keep spawning in, and they will keep running to the center. So it's a slow but effective way of getting your Hezrou Hunter pretty easily without any stress. So we're only at 46. It's not a very fast process, but thankfully you only need 800 of them, so it's a lot faster than it appears. And they constantly respawn here, so you never ever have to worry about it. And if you've got another player, you can always just have them go out there and farm out Hezrou that are just sort of wandering about, that won't come in towards you. Well, you have one person sit here and just punch them down, really. And that's all there is to it. So, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to detour here and head back out, and we'll go on to the second of our 2 entries today. So, the final non-raid enemy in the monster manual, at least the final one we're covering, is actually called Hellcat. The Hellcat, which is actually a very difficult mob to really pin down. Not because they're not necessarily numerous in the places they go into, but because they don't ever seem to count as Hellcats in the monster manual. I don't understand how they could be so poorly coded. So you know what? We'll go over here. We're just going to make sure that we can actually get a few of them and see what happens. So we're going to go after these Hellcat invaders here. And you'll notice I've got 3. It's because I actually tried this before to see if there was any Hellcats even in the dungeon. And it was terrible. It was hellish, for lack of a better pun, to try and find them. But those ones all count, as you could tell. Those are actually the ones I've tested before, and they're really the only 3 Hellcats within a decent approximation of where you're going to go. So you can farm them out pretty easily and ad nauseum at your leisure, but I wouldn't necessarily think this is the best option, so maybe we'll check out a couple more and just see what's going on, so that we don't end up with a Wraith situation. So you guys are going to do some sleuthing with me. You're going to actually figure out how I figure this stuff out, a little bit anyway. I'm going to go through a couple of things here. So basically what we're going to want to do is we're going to open that up first, but we are in the Subterrane. The Subterrane is very difficult to navigate. Now, if you get to the Halls of Lunacy, then you'll know approximately where I am, but we just want to find out if there is one Hellcat of Shavareth. But you'll want to be in the devil area for it. The hellcats are not going to spawn where the giants are, so you're not going to be able to find them, so you're not going to be able to get what you want to get out of this. But right now, we're all around where these troglodytes are, and that is not exactly what we're looking for. Now, the Subterrane is a shockingly good place to farm out tieflings, if you're really into that, but probably not as good as the weapon shipment, which I'll have linked up above there. Alright, so, about 68% magic later, and a lot of hassle away, we now have what we need. So yes, once again, you can't enter that sort of red area there. You can't enter that without dying. You don't want to do that, so what you want to do is you want to have the devils run in there and do all the buttoning for you. And there we go, we've got all the devils, we did all the buttons, it blinks, it's happy, everything is good. And now we can open that area, and by the way, this is definitely not an efficient area to farm out. Not an efficient area at all to farm out for hellcats. But I just want to show you where exactly they are so that you can come in here and do it yourself if you so choose. Alright, so here we are, we're almost there, we're almost there. We're gonna speedrun this last bit, go, 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 go. And here we go. And what I really want to do is just make sure we get the monster manual open. We have 970. I want to make sure we get that open so that we can determine whether or not those guys actually count. We are at the peak of the fortress. Yes, we did it very well. Some shock troopers, some archers, and there he is, the hellcat, the one hellcat we have seen so far. All right, so why don't we just pop this on? Oh, he knocked us over. Well, why don't we just get back up, pop this on, and go ahead and nuke up that hellcat. And he does count. Oh, look at that. We did it. One hellcat hunter down. Alright, so that was pretty much it. All of the archers from here are now down. And we had a single hellcat to show for all of our effort. This is why you do not trust the Dito wiki. Now, I wouldn't lead you guys astray. If you actually are farming these out, this is a hideously bad spot to farm them. So if you're farming these, I would just suggest don't bother with this area. This is yet another dud for the hellcats. Oh, look at that. There were 2 more of them. All right, so we have 3 total. Very exciting. And the other place that I really, really, really want to check out just for the sake of consistency is the Vale of Twilight. Now we want to go to the Shavarath area, which is over in that general vicinity. So I'll just go right over there. And let's just head on right in. Alright, so basically we're going to be looking around specifically for the Bezekira. Bezekira. And we want to make sure that we find them. It's pretty obvious what they look like, so it's just a matter of taking a look around and making sure we get the right ones. Now, as I remember, none of these were particularly that commonplace, so I'm not very confident, but we did find one. We did find one, so let's kill him off. Get right back on that. Oh, no, never mind. We got another one. Let's hit him up. Get right back on that horse. Alrighty, so there are 2 of them already. This is already more lucrative than what we were dealing with in the Subterrane. And there's our 3rd one. Alright. Well, I think this does it, actually. This is not bad. This is not bad. So if you've got a decent group to farm them, you might be able to get enough spawns out that this actually becomes a fair area to get them. A fair one. But the problem with wildy zones, it's the problem with every wildy zone, really, is that you kind of need the group. If you don't have the group, you're just not finding as many. Like, look at how few we've got now. We've got 2 and that's it. So actually at this point, the Curse the Sky dungeon is now more efficient. We'll stop by for a rare, sure. Smaragdus. Ooh. One more busy. We'll get him. And there he is. There's our 5th one. Boom. So he's gone. That's not very great. See, the Bezekira instances that you have are not good for any of them, really. This is the best option we had. Let's get rid of that guy. Because, honestly, here's the problem with a lot of these Bezekira. They don't actually count as Bezekira, as hellcats. That's the real problem. If they did, then we would have Devil Assault, and this would be an easy farm. But since we don't, since they don't actually count, they're all janked out and don't count for the thing that we're supposed to be getting them for, we can't actually farm them efficiently. So, you don't really have great options. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to mark this one also as a pretty unfeasible collection. But, I mean, I've been playing for 6 years and I still don't have them, and I've had the monster manual for most of that time. So I'm going to say it's pretty unfeasible, or at the very least, a very grueling grind. It's not going to be a very fun one for you. So, it's unfortunate. If there comes a time that the developers actually code the Hellcats in the Devil Assault quest correctly, to the point where they give Hellcats as opposed to Hellhounds or Troglodytes or something weird like that, then we won't have a real problem with that. Actually, that might be a good bug report to give after I'm done with this video. That being said, that is really all I've got for you today. We're down to 2 entries after today. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So if you enjoyed this content, go ahead and hit that like button, share this video everywhere you can, and smack that notification button to stay up to date on everything we post on this channel. If you are up for a bit of exploring, I do have a channel on Odyssey, which is a YouTube alternative, that you can always just check out to see what we've got there. I'll post some news there, I'll post some other miscellany that probably won't make it on YouTube, so it might just give you a reason to jump between the 2 platforms. And you can always stop by Twitter, Discord, Twitch to see what's going on there, if anything. Basically, just click everything in the description and go on an adventure. Finally, if you know of a place that is a little better for the Hellcats that we farmed out, for the Hezrous that we farmed out, go ahead and just drop that in the comments section and try to get this discussion rolling. Maybe we can find out the absolute best locations to find all this stuff and just compile a decent list that will stay up pretty much forever, or at least as long as Dido is a thing. That being said, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.